right. Good afternoon, radio fans. Big Al here on this Monday, May 20th, 2024, and our continuing look at the largest Texas radio markets being reissued rather, continues with a reissue of the San Antonio radio market. Now, we reissued the Dallas Fort Worth market last week. Those two videos are up if you want to go and check those out. I had just started info gathering on the Houston reissue, and then after we get Houston finished, we'll go to Austin and wrap up this series. But today we're focusing on the Alamo City. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the AM radio stations in San Antonio as of May 2024. And then later on, we'll be looking at the FM side of the dial in the Alamo City. So make sure you join me for that as well. In the meantime, let's jump right into this, shall we? All right, we're going to start off with 550 KTSA San Antonio, known as News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071. Their slogan is Stay Connected. This is a news talk station affiliated with ABC News, CBS News, Compass Media Networks, Radio America, and Westwood One. KTSA is the oldest radio station in San Antonio, signing on the air in August 1922 as WCAR. They were originally named KTSA back in 1927 until they switched to KAKI in 1958 and then eventually went back to the KTSA call sign. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Their studios and day and nighttime transmitters are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road in San Antonio. Oh, and I forgot. Oh, yeah, I did get that. Never mind. KTSA is owned by Alpha Media and licensed to Alpha Media Licensee LLC as debtor in possession. On 630, you have KSLR San Antonio, also known as AM 630 The Word, with a Christian talk and teaching format. Affiliations with SRN News and the USA Radio Network. KSLR signed on the air as KMAC in December of 1926 and became KSLR in 1983. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during daytime hours and 4,300 watts during nighttime hours. Their studios are located at 9601 McAllister Freeway, number 1200 in San Antonio. Their daytime transmitter, which operates at 5,000 watts, is located at 7025 Rigsby Avenue, San Antonio. Their 4,300 watt nighttime transmitter is off of County Road 465 at I-10 in Cibolo, Texas. KSLR is owned by the Salem Media Group and is licensed to Salem Media of Texas Incorporated. Next on 680 is KKYX San Antonio, known as Country Legends, KKYX 680 AM and 104.9 FM. This is a classic country station and the flagship radio home of the minor league baseball team, the San Antonio Missions of the Texas League. KKYX signed on the air in the fall of 1926 as KGCM. The station would undergo 5 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters, including KENS or KENS from 1954 to 1962. Of course, that would later spawn San Antonio's current CBS television station on Channel 5, also with the Kens call sign. 680 officially became KKYX in 1972. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts during the day, 10,000 watts at night. Their studios are at 8122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. The station's transmitter is off of County Road 421, also in San Antonio. Country Legends KKYX is owned by the Cox Media Group and licensed to CMG New York Texas Radio LLC. KKYX's programming is simulcast on sister station KCYY 100.3 FM HD2, licensed to San Antonio, and relayed on translator station K285EU 104.9 FM in Mendoza, Texas. 720 AM and 104.1 FM, channel 281, broadcasts the same programming. All right. First up is KSAH AM, Universal City, Texas. This is a San Antonio suburb on the north side of town. That's the station on 720 AM. And then on 104.1, channel 281, you have KSAH FM, Pearsall, Texas. This is south and west of the city. This station is known as Norteno, 104.1 y 720 AM, la estación de la raza. Both or rather simulcast classic regional Mexican and Norteno music. KSAH AM 720 signed on the air on November 1st, 1986. KSAH FM on 104.1 signed on in 1991 as KRIO at 94.1 FM. They would become KMMG in 1998, KMFR in 2002. They would have a second run as KRIO beginning in 2004 until they became KSAH FM in 2011. And I'm not sure when the station moved to 104.1. I didn't see that information on Wikipedia. KSAH AM 720 has a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts during the day and 890 watts at night. KSAH FM 104.1 has a Class C1 license, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios for both stations are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road in San Antonio. The KSAH AM transmitter is in Marion, Texas, at 684 Stolte Road. The KSAH FM transmitter is in Hinder, Texas, off of FM 351. Both stations are owned by Alpha Media, and both are licensed by Alpha Media Licensee LLC as debtor in possession. Programming is relayed on booster station KSAH FM1 in Charlotte, Texas, also located at 104.1 FM. 760 is KTKR San Antonio, known as Ticket 760 San Antonio Sports Station. This is a sports talk station and is the San Antonio affiliate for Fox Sports Radio, Westwood One Sports, also the Houston Astros and the Houston Texans. Ticket 760 is also the flagship station of UTSA Roadrunners Sports, primarily football and men's basketball. So this is the station where you'll hear UTSA Sports. KTKR signed on the air on May 10th, 1984 as KSJL. They would become KZXS in 1993 and KTKR in 1995. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 50,000 watts during daytime hours and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at the iHeartMedia World Headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway in San Antonio. Their transmitter is also located within San Antonio city limits off of Green Road. KTKR Ticket 760 is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses LLC. And as I said, iHeartMedia is locally based there in San Antonio. 810 is KYTY Somerset, Texas, known as Star 810, featuring contemporary Christian music and Christian talk and teaching programs. And according to Wikipedia, KYTY is also an affiliate of the Houston Astros radio network. This station signed on the air on May 16, 1988 as KCHG. It would become KSJL in 1998 and KYTY in 2007. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at only 250 watts full-time. Studio location was unlisted. They're probably located in the city of San Antonio. Their transmitter is in San Antonio, off of Ballesteros Lake near Loop 410 and Pleasanton Road. KYTY is owned by Maranatha Broadcasting. Jumping over to 860, you've got KONO AM San Antonio, known as 86 KONO, the greatest hits of the 60s and 70s. This is an oldies format, which signed on the air initially on January 17, 1927 as KGRC, and has identified as KONO AM since 1930. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 900 watts at night. Studios are located at 122 Data Point Drive, number 600 in San Antonio. Their transmitter is off of Creekview Drive near Salado Creek, also in San Antonio. KONO AM is owned by the Cox Media Group and licensed by CMG New York, Texas Radio LLC, and their programming is simulcast on KONO FM 101.1 HD2, Helotes, Texas. Now, for those from South Central Texas who remember the KONO call letters, they were used on the ABC television station in San Antonio on Channel 12, now known today as KSAT TV. 930 is KLUP Terrell Hills, known as 930 AM The Answer, breaking news, stimulating talk. This is a conservative talk station affiliated with the Salem Radio Network and Town Hall News. KLUP signed on the air on October 17, 1947 as KITE and would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters and until they became KLUP in 1992. They've got a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 9601 McAllister Freeway, number 1200 in San Antonio. The station's transmitter is also in San Antonio. In fact, they use two transmitter sites. Both are off a Center Gate Street near Loop 410 and I-35. KLUP 930 The Answer is owned by Salem Media Group and licensed to Salem Communications Holding Corporation. Next up on 990 is KAML, or rather KAHL, Kennedy, Carnes City, Texas. This station is known as La Nuestra, playing Spanish contemporary Christian music. This station signed on the air in 1974. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 250 watts during the day and 70 watts at night. Programming originates from the headquarters of Sub Broadcasting Corporation at 1302 North Shepherd Drive in Houston. US 181 in Carnes, Texas. KAHL is owned by Houston-based SIGA Broadcasting Corporation, and their programming is relayed on translator station K237GJ 95.3 FM, Kennedy, Carnes City, Texas. Short space next to KAHL on 1000 AM is KBIB, Marion, Texas. Known as KBIB 1000 AM, featuring a Spanish religious format. This station signed on the air as KKJB on February 22nd, 1985, and became KBIB in 1987. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting during daytime hours at an effective radiated power of 250 watts. Their studios and transmitter are both located at 290 North Santa Clara Road in Marion, Texas. KBIB is owned by locally based Hispanic Community College. KBIB is a daytime only station and must sign off the air at local sunset. Next up on 1100 is the Alamo City's longest running Christian radio station, KDRY Alamo Heights, known as AM 1100 KDRY All Teaching. This is a Christian talk and teaching station which signed on the air on November 8th, 1963. So they're celebrating 60 years as a Christian station. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 11,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 16414 San Pedro Avenue, Suite 575, and their transmitter is at 13010 Lookout Road, both located in San Antonio. And the station owned by KDRY Radio Incorporated. 1130 is KTMR, Converse, Texas. This is a San Antonio station on the northeast side of town, or rather the southeast side of town. They're known as La Nuestra, featuring a Spanish Christian format. KTMR signed on the air as KQTI on December 17, 1979. It would become KVOJ in 1985 and the present-day KTMR in 1990. They had a construction permit for the KWBY call sign in Edna, Texas back in 1969, but that station never made it to the air. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 25,000 watts during daytime hours only. Programming originates from 1302 North Shepherd Drive in Houston. The station's transmitter is in Alum, Texas, off FM 428. KTMR is owned by SIGA Broadcasting Corporation, once again based out of Houston. KTMR is a daytime only station. Sorry. and must leave the air at local sunset on 11:30 a.m. However, programming is relayed 24 hours a day on translator station K223CT 92.5 FM, San Antonio. 1160 is KRDY, San Antonio. Currently an affiliate of Relevant Radio, featuring a Catholic talk format, affiliated, of course, with Relevant Radio. KRDY signed on the air as KBER on November 13th, 1961. The station would become KFHM in 1978, KVAR in 1991, KENS in 1993, and KRDY, which they've identified as since 2004. The station originated at 11:50 a.m. but moved to 11:60 in 1985. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Programming originates from Relevant Radio's headquarters in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Their transmitter is in San Antonio at 9940 Braun Road. KRDY is owned by Relevant Radio Incorporated. 1200 is News Radio 1200 WOAI, featuring a news talk format. They are it with Fox News Radio, Compass Media Networks, Premier Networks, and the Weather Channel. News Radio 1200 WOAI is the flagship radio home of the San Antonio Spurs. Go Spurs, go! And they are also the San Antonio affiliate for both Texas Longhorns football and the NFL on Westwood One Sports. This station began at 833 and 16 kilohertz when they signed on the air on September 25th, 1922. They would move around a little bit. They would move to 780 in 1923 and then to 760 in 1925. They would move twice in 1927 to 940 AM and then to 600 AM. 1070 and 1190 in 1928 until landing on their present home at 1200 in 1941. WOAI is a Class A clear channel station broadcasting 24/7 at 50,000 watts. Studios are located headquarters at 20880 Stone Oak Parkway in Antonio. Their transmitter is on Santa Clara Road at Gin Road in Zeal, Texas. That's IEHL. 1200 WOAI is the flagship station of the locally based iHeartMedia, the largest owner of radio stations in the country, and they are licensed by IHM Licenses LLC. 1250 is KZDC San Antonio, known as ESPN 1250, featuring a sports format, an Antonio affiliate of both ESPN Radio and the Texas Rangers. This is one of the oldest radio stations in San Antonio, signing on the air on July 16th, 1952 as KEXX. The station would undergo 9 call sign changes with 8 sets of call letters, including KEXX from 1952 to February 2nd, 1959, and February 21st through November of 1959. They were also known as KZEP AM on 2 separate occasions, from 1990 to 94, and then 94 until becoming KZDC in 1995. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 25,000 watts during the day and 920 watts at night. Studios are located at 4050 Eisenhower Road in San Antonio. The daytime transmitter is at 136.99 US 281 in San Antonio. Their nighttime transmitter is right across from the station on Eisenhower Road, also in San Antonio. KZDC or ESPN 1250 is owned by Alpha Media and licensed to Alpha Media License LLC. 1280 is KMFR, Pearsall, Texas, also known as No Bull Radio, featuring a classic country format. The license for this station was granted on June 28, 2001 as KVWG, so I had listed that as their first sign-on. The station would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters, including KSAH, briefly in 2004, KTFM, 2004 to 2005, and then they become KMFR in 2011. They have a Class D license with the DC, broadcasting at 460 watts during the day and 190 watts at night. Studios are located at 210 North Panna Maria Avenue in Karnes City, Texas. The station's transmitter is at 258 County Road 4000 in Pearsall. KMFR is owned by David Martin Phillip and Marguerite Phillip and licensed to Rufus Resources LLC. KMFR's programming is relayed on translator station K34DG, Pearsall, Texas at 94.7 FM. Okay. 1310 and 105.9 FM channel 290 both broadcast the same programming. You have 9 FM channel 290. Both are branded as called 1310. Both simulcasting in adult standards format. Sorry, something in my eye. Okay. HL 1310 signed on in 1971 as KBUC and would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of calls, including KXTN on 3 separate occasions. Their first run was from 1988 to 1991. Then you got their second run from 1993 to 1987. And they identified as KXTN for the third time from 1999 to 2005. That was the year they would become KAHL AM. KAHL 105.9 FM signed on the air in 1989 as KRBH. They would become KRIO FM in 2001, KMFR in 2002, and KAHL FM 2011. KAHL AM has a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts day and 280 watts at night, while KAHL FM operates with a Class A license, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Studios for both stations are located at 8023 Vantage Drive, Suite 840 in San Antonio. The KAHL 1310 transmitter is at 7325 Joe Louis Drive in San Antonio, while the KAHL 105.9 transmitter is off of County Road 2200 in D'Hanis, Texas. Both stations are owned by Pearsall Radio Works Limited, and KAHL AM 1310 is licensed to San Antonio Radio Works LLC. Programming is relayed on the following 3 translator stations: K264CJ 100.7 FM in the San Antonio of Live Oak, Texas. K290BO 105.9 FM in the San Antonio neighborhood of the Dominion, Texas. And K300DY 107.9 FM licensed to San Antonio. 1350 is KXTN San Antonio. They're known as KXTN Tejano and Proud, 1350 AM. They broadcast Tejano music in Spanish and English. This is the Spanish flagship home of the San Antonio Spurs. KXTN signed on the air in 1946 as KCOR. They would become KXTN for the first time in 2014 for a brief period until switching back to KCOR in 2015 and returning to the present KXTN call sign in 2019. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting full-time at 5,000 watts. Studios are located at 12451 Network Boulevard in San Antonio. That is also where Univision station KWEX Channel 41 has their studios. Transmitter is on the corner of Abe Lincoln Road and Whitby Road in San Antonio. KXTN is owned by the Latino Media Network and licensed to Latino Media Network LLC. Programming is simulcast on sister station KVBH 107.5 FM HD2 in San Antonio, and is also simulcast to the Rio Grande area on KBTQ 96.1 HD2 in Harlingen, Texas. In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex on KDXX 107.9 FM HD2 in Louisville, Texas. And in the Space City on KLTN 102.9 HD3 in Houston. 1380 is KWMF Pleasanton. Virgin de Guadalupe Radio. This station features a Spanish CAF format. License granted on October 11, 2007. That's the official first sign-on. As KFNI. It would become KAJG and later KWMF in 2007. They used KBUP as its first call sign, but was never used on air. Since with the FCC, broadcasting at 4,000 watts during the day and 160 watts at night. Studios are located at either 3308 Broadway, Suite 401 in San Antonio, or 222 West Zavala Street in San Antonio. Their transmitter is off of County Road 342 in Poteet, Texas. That's south of the city. KWMF is owned by Gloria Ziga and Ramon Coronado and licensed to Virgin de Guadalupe Global Communications, LLC. 1420 is KGNB New Braunfels, known as KGNB 1420 AM and 103.1 FM, during a country music format affiliated with Fox News Radio. You'll hear their news updates at the top of each hour. KGNB signed on the air on May 22nd, 1950. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts during the day and 196 watts at night. Studios are located at 6515 Walnut Avenue in New Braunfels. Their transmitter is off County Road 482 near I-35 in Canyon Lake. KGNB is owned 103.1 FM New Braunfels. 14 is KCTI Gonzales. This is east of San Antonio along I-10. This station is known as Texas Public Radio, featuring a news talk format affiliated with NPR, Public Radio International, and American Public Media. They signed on the air on November 17, 1947. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcast 1,000 watts. Studios are located at the headquarters of Texas Public Radio at 321 West Commerce Street in downtown San Antonio. The transmitter is off of Highway 90 alternate in Gonzales. It is owned by San Antonio-based Texas Public Radio. KCTI's programming is relayed on translator station K223CZ. Port space next to them on 1460 is KCWM Hondo, known as KCWM 1460, featuring a country music format. First sign-on or license granted was April 29, 1980 as KRME. They would keep that call sign until they became KCWM in 1995. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 500 watts during the day and 226 watts at night. Studios are located at 1605 Avenue K. Mailing address is P.O. Box 447, Hondo, Texas 78861. The transmitter is off of F76 and County Road 443, also in Hondo. KCWM is owned by Hondo Communications Incorporated. All right, just 5 more stations to go, and then we're AM band. 1480 is KCHL San Antonio, known as Gospel 1480. This is an urban gospel station signing on the air in 1960. The FM translator, which we'll talk about shortly, signed on December 16th, 2016 as KAPE. Both KCHL and their FM transmitter have Class D licenses with the FCC. KCHL broadcasts at 2,500 watts during the day and 90 watts at night. Their translator on 92.1 operates at 29 watts, while the translator at 100.7 translates at or broadcasts at 99 watts. KCHL used 3 call sign changes, or KCHL used 3 call signs, including their current one, which they've been using since 1992. They also used it from 1988 to 1991. Studios are at 1211 West Hine Road, San Antonio. Their transmitter is right around the area on West Hine Road at Martin Luther King Drive. KCHL is owned by Darrell E. Martin, and programming is relayed on the following 2 translator stations: K221GF 92.1 FM and K221GF 100.7 FM, both licensed to San Antonio. 1500 is KBRN, Bernie, Texas. KBRN Bernie Radio, 103.9 FM and 1500 AM. This is an oldie station which signed on the air in 1982 as KCI. They would become KYCS in 1984 and KBRN in 1985. The station was briefly off the air in 2018 and 2019. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 250 watts during daytime hours. Studios are located at 1012 South Main Street. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 664, Bernie, Texas 7800. Their transmitter is off of Topperwine Road in Bernie. KBRN is owned by Shan and Baron Wiley and licensed to Bullfars Media Group, LLC. KBRN is a daytime-only station and must sign off the air at sunset on 1500 AM. However, their programming is relayed 24 hours a day on translator station K280GR 103.9 FM, also licensed to Bernie, which is located in the Hill Country, north and west of the city. 1520 is KQQB, Stockdale, Texas. This station covers primarily the southeastern portions of the San Antonio area. They're known as 1520 AM The Cube, featuring brokered programming. This station signed on the air on September 5th, 1979 as KRJH. They would become KHLT in 1995 and KQQB in 2011. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,500 watts during the daytime hours only. Studios are located at 1211 West Hine Road in San Antonio. That's the same address as 1480 KCHL. Their transmitter is in Denhauken, Texas, near County Road 460. KQQB is owned by Centro de Adoración Internacional Company. KQQB is also a daytime-only station who must sign off the air at local sunset. All right, next is 1540 KEDA San Antonio, Radio Jalapeno. This station plays Tejano and Conjunto music. KEDA signed on the air on March 17, 1966. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are at 1246 West Laurel Street. Transmitter is at 7084 New Sulphur Springs Road, both in San Antonio. KEDA is owned by Claro Communications and licensed to Claro Communications Limited. Programming is simulcast in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex on KKLF 1700 AM Richardson, Texas, and relayed on translator station K238BZ 95.5 FM, Seguin, Texas, K243C 96.5 FM, and K260CC 99.9 FM. The two latter translator stations are licensed to San Antonio. And the final station is 1580 KWED Seguin. They're known as 1580 KWED, featuring a full-service country music format affiliated with CBS News, Premier Networks, and Westwood One. KWED signed on the air. In fact, KWED was founded on June 27, 1946, and they signed on officially on September 9, 1948. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,450 watts during the day and 300 watts at night. Their studios are at 609 East Court Street, and stations on AM. I will be back at about 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, down the reissue of the FM stations in the Alamo City. So make sure you join me for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off for now. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.